Operation Epic Fury.
Democrats spent years screaming that Donald Trump was a reckless warmonger who would start World War III. They clutched their pearls every time he talked tough on Iran. Now that President Trump has actually taken decisive action against the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, suddenly they've got a massive problem. Because a historical record just came back to haunt them in the most devastating way possible. Nancy Pelosi herself once declared on camera that presidents don't need congressional approval for military strikes. Barack Obama bombed 7 different countries without a single formal declaration of war. And who could forget the pallets of cash, $1.7 billion shipped directly to Iranian mullahs? The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife. What are Democrats going to do now that their own words are being used against them? And here's why this matters to you and your family right now. Iran has been the #1 state sponsor of terrorism for decades. They've funded Hamas, they've funded Hezbollah, they've attacked American troops, American allies, and they've been racing towards the nuclear weapon that could threaten every single American city. For years, we've watched weak administrations send billions in cash, beg for negotiations that went nowhere, and respond to Iranian aggression with one pathetic word: don't. Well, don't didn't work. Don't never works when you're dealing with radical Islamic terrorists who want to wipe Israel off the map and chant death to America in the streets. Now President Trump has finally done what needed to be done, taking decisive military action to neutralize the Iranian threat. But the radical left and their media allies are trying to delegitimize the action, claiming it's unconstitutional, claiming Trump overstepped his authority. They're hoping you don't remember that their own leaders set the precedent for exactly this kind of executive military action. If they succeed in undermining this mission, America looks weak again, and our enemies are emboldened. Your safety, your family's safety, it all hangs in the balance. And speaking of protecting what matters most when the world gets unstable, smart Americans are taking steps to secure their financial future right now. Something is brewing. You can feel it. Geopolitical tension, the market uncertainty, the warning signs flashing everywhere you look. Now here's the brutal truth. You can't protect yourself after the crash, after the collapse, after it's too late. You have to be ready now. All this uncertainty and chaos, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's just noise, but maybe, just maybe, it's the beginning of something much bigger. Now, nobody knows for sure, but waiting to find out? That's how people get hurt. Physical gold and silver aren't just investments, they are insurance. They're protection against the chaos that you can't control. You see, for thousands of years, gold has been the ultimate safe haven when empires rise and fall, when currencies collapse, when governments overreach. Right now, Noble Gold Investments is making it easy to protect your retirement with a free gold and silver guide. Call the number on the screen or visit the website, nextnewsgold.com. Don't wait until the headlines get worse. Let's get back to exposing the biggest case of Democrat hypocrisy that we've seen in years. Yes, this is something the mainstream media absolutely doesn't want you to see. A video clip from 1980. It's going viral right now, and it shows a young Donald Trump calling for military action against Iran to free American hostages. That was 47 years ago, folks. 47 years of consistency on the Iranian threat. Well, Democrats have flip-flopped on every position imaginable. Donald Trump's been saying the same thing since before most of their current voters were even born. And now his lifelong conviction has been vindicated in the most spectacular way possible. Now take a look at this. President Barack Obama authorized airstrikes in 7 countries without congressional notifications. Not one Democrat said a damn word. Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Somalia, Yemen, Libya, Syria, during his 2 terms, often utilizing drone strikes without formal congressional approval. Oh yeah, I guess if it's good enough for Barack, right? Should be good enough for all the Democrats if Donald Trump decides to follow the same playbook. This Obama double standard sets up perfectly for examining another disastrous Democrat policy towards Iran that actually funded their weapons program. Remember that time President Obama sent Iranian leaders $1.7 billion in cash on a pallet. He paid them in advance in exchange for their promise to slow down development of nuclear weapons. They used the money to fund their nuclear and ballistic weapons program. A muse on X reminding us all of that inconvenient truth. $1.7 billion in cash. Who will ever forget that? I remember reporting on it, and it was absolutely astounding to consider that that was actually something of a foreign policy position. That cash pallet scandal shows how weak Democrat messaging emboldens Iran. Now watch how different leadership gets completely different results. Wall Street apes posting this beautiful image that really tells the whole story. Here we have all of our presidents, right? We have the Bushes, the Clintons, Obama, President Trump, Biden, and under every single administration, we have the Ayatollah, and no Ayatollah, right? Finally, a president that did something. President Trump in his second term, taking decisive action. Now, these contrasting presidential approaches prove that strength works, but some Democrats are finally admitting the truth about failed negotiations. Oh, 3 messages to Iran. Kamala Harris, don't. Joe Biden, don't. Donald Trump, I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Remember this little video?
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. Message to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
That's worth playing again.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. Message to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care.
That's the difference in leadership. Kamala, don't. Joe Biden, don't. Donald Trump, I'm going to bomb the shit out of him. Democrats like Fetterman are breaking ranks on Iran policy, but wait till you see how Pelosi's own words destroy her party's current hysteria. Here's Senator Fetterman, always the shining light of the Democrat Party.
Where does this go now? You have a vote coming up on the president's war powers. How will you vote?
Well, I would really encourage everybody that are watching right now, look up and read the War Powers resolution from 1973 and what that requires. What that requires is that provide 48 hours of notification, and President Trump had done that. And then that means after 60 days, then they have to withdraw those soldiers, or perhaps even for an extra 30-day extension. Neither of those things have been broken for that. There are no American boots on the ground. So that's why, Epic is now, that was absolutely not, it violates either one of that. And now people, they either don't understand that, or now what they're saying things are just not true, that it wasn't illegal, or for that, it did not violate War Powers resolution from 1973.
Right. So you will vote in what way on Tuesday?
Well, of course, I'm going to vote it down. It's really, it's not necessary. Honestly, the entire thing, it's really an empty gesture. There's not going to be any votes. But when you're not even breaking the War Powers resolution, why are you even doing that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and also, let's also be clear. I'm tired of seeing people, go on social media and saying we can never allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb, and Israel always deserves insecurity, and they deserve to exist. Well, if you're not willing to do about it, then it must just be empty words. Yeah. Are you really? Does it matter? No, but when President Trump was willing to do the kinds of things that are necessary to provide those things. Now, if you really want to prevent Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb, He did try to negotiate with them. There has been treaties. There has been other negotiations that never worked. And they had 900 pounds of just below weapons grade weapons. So, here, do you really committed, or are you just going to drop empty tweets and just try to have it both ways and pretend that it really matters? So, and that's why I'm going to support that. As a Democrat, I know that's absolutely the right thing to do. And so for me right now, the world is better. And
the world is better. Senator Fetterman, the voice of reason. Now, here's a clip of Pelosi nuking the entire argument. Insists presidents do not need congressional approval for strikes. Oops.
So, Madam Speaker, or Madam Leader, you're saying that the president did not need authorization initially and still does not need any authorization from Congress on Libya?
Yes.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you all very much.
There's Pelosi. Those words are going to come back to haunt her, and we're bringing them up. This 1980 clip proves Trump's Iran stance isn't political opportunism. It's a 47-year commitment to American strength that Iran clearly now understands. When it comes to striking Iran, Donald Trump has been consistent for 47 years. This is Trump from 1980.
And you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time. I think we've lost the opportunity.
Well, President Trump remaining consistent, and the opportunity is here. What we're witnessing right now is the complete and total collapse of the Democrat foreign policy establishment. See, for decades, they told us that diplomacy would work. They told us that appeasement would bring peace. They sent billions to our enemies and got nothing but betrayal in return. They set the precedent that presidents can conduct military operations without congressional approval. You heard Pelosi. And now they're furious that President Trump is using that exact same authority to actually protect American interests. The truth they don't want you to understand is very simple. Their policies failed. Their weakness emboldened our enemies. Their cash-funded terrorism, and now a strong president is cleaning up their mess. Every hysterical attack, every false accusation, every demand for congressional oversight is really just an admission that their approach was wrong. Donald Trump's approach is working. The American people are waking up to the biggest foreign policy fraud in modern history. Democrats funded Iran, armed Iran, and empowered Iran for decades. They set every precedent that now allows President Trump to take decisive action. Now they're panicking because their hypocrisy has been exposed for the entire world to see. This is why we do what we do here at the Next News Network. The mainstream media will never show you these clips. They'll never remind you about the pallets of cash or Obama's 7 undeclared bombing campaigns or Pelosi's own words defending executive military authority. But we will. So share this video with everybody that you know. And drop a comment and tell me, do you support President Trump's decisive action against Iran? Simple yes or no. I want to hear from you. And hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you never miss a single report. And if you want to show your support for independent conservative journalism, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. From the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi. Stay informed, and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.